Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here at Jean Charles Young Middle School and see all that red and gold. Can I hear for the red and gold today? You got the wolves in the house? Yeah. You got the wolves in the house? Yeah. All right. Mayor Reed, thank you so much for being here with us on this wonderful occasion. Councilmember C.T. Martin, school board members, Dr. Hall, thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful building. And of course, Principal Kenner, who has kept everybody together, moving back and forth between buildings. He's been running the school and running the renovation. And do you all like your new school? Thank you so much, Mr. Kenner, for all that you've done for this community. And I want to also thank my family for allowing me to speak on their behalf today. And my brother has come all the way from Alabama with his new baby. Well, would you stand up? He didn't get to go here. He went to Maine. And my sister Lisa, who is a Southwest High Wolf graduate. She played flute. And I played French horn. But I'll talk to you all a little bit. Unfortunately, you all get to hear me a little bit later. So we'll talk about war stories of this building later on. But I would really like to thank the entire Atlanta community for this new building. And as someone who has done education policy nationally, young people, you all have got to know, and I think many of our adults know, that cities around the country are not doing this. You can go to other great cities, and the children are in school buildings where the honors class has the roof falling in over their heads. So you are really blessed that we have a community that thinks so much of education, that we have a commitment, and Dr. Hall and the school board have made a commitment, and this community has been willing to tax itself. You know, you hear a lot of bad things about taxes, but when you're paying your property taxes, this is what we are doing with that. And so we are really fortunate to be in a community that gives this kind of value to our young people and to our education. And my mother would be so honored to have this school named for her. And this school could not have a better namesake, because there's no one who better exemplifies what must happen inside of a school building and in a school community than Jean Charles Young. Jean Charles Young was a gifted and committed educator. She knew that children learn when they feel they are loved. Children learn when they feel that they are loved, and she loved all children. She was an innovative teacher who used phonics in the early 1960s, taking a class of kids over at Whiteford Elementary School, Mr. Baker, who had failed kindergarten. But after she had them for a year, they were all reading at grade level. Jean Charles Young was a master teacher who, in one of the early innovative programs called the Teacher Corps program, was a lead teacher who worked with young new teachers, helping them to become proficient in their profession. She was a versatile teacher who began as an early childhood educator teaching elementary school, but later taught remedial reading to adults as a founding faculty member of what is now Atlanta Metropolitan College. She was a global teacher. President Jimmy Carter appointed Jean Young to be chairperson for the United Nations International Year of the Child. She traveled to all the states. Every state had its own commission. And she traveled the world, spreading the word that we need to put children first, that children have rights, that children are our future, and that what we give and what we do to nurture our children is what we are doing for the future of our civilization. Jean Young was an opportunistic teacher. As Atlanta's First Lady, she was the founder and chair of the Atlanta Task Force on Education. She said, well, I'm First Lady and I'm a teacher. What can I do? How can I make that work? And so she created the Dream Jamboree and brought together every 9th and 11th grade student in the Atlanta Public Schools for a career and college fair, so that they would have a future worth dreaming about. And she said, we got to start with the 9th graders, because in 9th grade you still have time to take the classes that prepare you for the career that you decide that you want. And so by doing that, she went through the list of places that Ambassador Young had gotten an honorary degree or been the commencement speaker, and she invited them all to Atlanta to look at our students, to provide them with college scholarships, and totally and increased multifold by millions of dollars the college scholarships that Atlanta Public School students received. She was a holistic teacher. Jean Young worked to end segregation. She marched from Selma to Montgomery. She ran her home as a bed and breakfast for many of the leaders and foot soldiers of the civil rights movement, because she knew that segregation damaged the spirit, even as she was trying to train and inspire the mind. And so she was always concerned about the whole child and what experiences they were having in the larger society. Jean Young believed fervently that every child is a gifted child, and I know you believe that here at Jean Charles Young Middle School. Every child is a gifted child. And as we dedicate this wonderful new hall of love and learning, of love of learning, I urge every parent and every teacher to see each child as Jean Young would see them, as a gifted child with limitless potential. Look around and see the high regard your community has for you to build this wonderful building for the work that you do here. And I urge every student to see themselves and to look at their neighbor on either side of them and see your friends and your colleagues and your schoolmates as the gifted young people that they are. Jean Young would challenge each of you, as she did her own children, to always strive to do your personal best, because she was one who believed not only in rewarding the number one student in the class, but also the student who had made the most progress. Because we have challenges that we face, and it's what you do to overcome them. It's how you keep working. It's how you keep striving. And you may not be the number one chair in the band, but are you better than you were last season? Are you better than you were at the end of the semester? And we want to always be working to improve on our personal best as a teacher, as a parent, and as a student. So I'd like to close by leaving you with a wonderful poem that Dr. Maya Angelou recited at the celebration of Jean Charles Young's life. And I'll just leave the closing lines of that great poem, Still I Rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Jean Charles Young Middle School family, keep on rising. Thank you.